Now in this video I'm going to show you how to install our new Black Tower ink refill system. And it's going to be on the IP7220 in this video. But first I'm going to show you how to replace the gaskets. What I want to do is turn the printer on and have the cartridges come over and then remove them. Okay, now I've removed the cartridges, as you can see. I'm going to drop the little gate that they put on the front here. That's your CD drawer on this printer. Now what's great about this printer, it'll print right on CDs and DVDs. It does awesome with photographs. Awesome. So it's a good little, just a good little printer. It's not an all-in-one. It's a good printer. But now to take out the printhead to replace the gaskets, you're going to take it in what's called the cartridge removal area, this area right here. And if you don't want to get ink on your fingers, wear a pair of rubber gloves or cheap latex gloves. Pull on it, and if you don't, it won't open. You got to move it so it does open. Because sometimes if you're too far over here. Now there's the printhead. I've already got a set of gaskets in. Now I reach in with my two fingers and I grab it and I pull it out. Now sometimes you have to use like a needle nose. Set it down. Now you're going to take out the Canon gaskets one at a time, and then you're going to replace it with the ink system gaskets. These are a lot better than the Canon gaskets. So you can see, and the black is slightly different, the large black. It's more of a round one. But basically, if you look at it, can only go in one way. You try to put them in backwards, it's going to get jammed up over here at this end. So that's it. That's one of the first things you're going to do. And then go up. Now this goes for all the Canon printers. Same thing. You want to take that printhead out, get it back in. When it's in properly, the little lock here will close like that. Now it's still unplugged. Now I can put in the ink system, or I thought I'd take it out and install it again from the beginning so you can see it all. Now when you get the kit, you're going to get some parts and pieces, little hose clips. They may be different in color, that doesn't matter. They're just to hold the hose. A protective felt that goes on the side of the printer right here. So when the hose goes underneath it, and if it rubs there a little bit, you want that to protect it because the plastic is usually very sharp. You also, when I have it in there, I put some liquid soap or WD-40 or Vaseline. I put that all around here because that helps. That definitely helps. Cuts down on the noise too. Now the hose we're using is our new memory hose. You can see that, it just bounces right back. It's a very unique hose, specifically designed for our Black Tower systems. You're going to see why in a minute. Now you get a little jumper plug. I'm going to show you how that goes in there, because the lid will come down about that far. Now some of the printers, the lids come down all the way, but on this one there's very little room here, so it's going to be held up about like that. It's not going to interfere with any of the functions. Now sometimes when you get the system cartridges, they're going to have orange clips on them. The clips may be different, but they perform the same function. They protect the cartridge and protect it from leaking. Now, in earlier models, we used to have a slide that would slide on the hose and crimp it. Well, we don't use it anymore because this hose is a lot different. We have come up with a very simple way. All you need to do is get yourself one of these big black paper clips. Fold the hose, just like you do a garden hose. Fold it, clip it on there. Now no ink can run from the ink tank then into the cartridges. Now when you're taking the orange clips off, have some paper towels handy, because you're going to see ink dribble out. You want to just wipe it up. Now on the bottom, you'll always see it with tape on it. That's the way we build them, so it's easier to work on them. Now the little hole in the center is where you would go in. You'd put the orange clips on, go in with the syringe and the tip we give you, and draw it up. That's how you would prime them. You do not need to prime a new system. Do not do this. I'm just telling you this in a video, just in case you ran the bottles completely empty, which some people do. You're going to have to go in and prime it. Always look at the printed instructions, because the videos can change. Like this is a revised video. I have an old one up for this printer, but we made some changes. We thought you'd like to see it. I took them out. Now on these, just like all of them, I go up on the front, I pull up to unsnap it. See, it'll unsnap from the front, then I'll be able to slide them off. These are a little bit different, this type here. You unsnap it and you slide it. So what you want to do is just make sure you unsnap them and slide it off the end. Now here's where it's going to leak a little bit, because it's a brand new system. Now this system's been in, so I don't expect it to have that much. See right there. See if I can zoom in. Right on that exit port. Like you see, I've had this system in, so I shouldn't see very little. But on a new system, you definitely will. I'm going to place them in there just like that. Now here's what's going to be important. Got the hose clamp. When we're putting them in, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. The front has to go in first. You got to make sure they're all in. If the back clip's in first, it's going to be a nightmare for you to unclick it. So take your time here. Make sure you get them down in there, and you'll know when they're incorrect. So they'll go right in. You see that? There. Now I'll push down right there. See the click? Now that's good. Here's a little tough one here. There you go. There. Now I'm going to hold the hose here. Okay? Because I'm going to slide it under there, but I want to take all the tension out of it and slide it right on over. So as far as it goes. Okay, now I've got the hose installed. Now I can take that paper clip off. Bracket. Got two-sided tape on the bottom, and it's got a hose clip that we've attached to it. I'm going to show you the position of this. Right along here, where the hinge goes in, I line it up. But I don't want to go any further than this right here. So you can see where the tape stops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just like that. I want these cutouts to be on the outside of the printer here. So this is basically the way I'm going to do it. It's just like that. See that? I don't want it like this. I want it like this. And I want it lined up with that edge to that edge. Then I'll be at the proper length. If you go too far, it could fall off, could be bent down. So you want to go exactly where I'm showing you here, or as close as you can get. Then peel and stick it down. Peeled it and I stuck it down. Okay, now we can feed the hose from here through the little hose clip on underneath it. Okay, you might have to use your both hands to do this, because you got to spread it and then slide it in. And you want it straight just like that. That's why I took out all that slack, because otherwise it could bunch up when it comes out. Slid it in there. Now there's room to slide it back. So I slide it back a little bit more. Then I'm coming straight across, and I'll put another hose clip rather, right here. So I can pick any one I've got, and I can put that there. Then you're also going to have another one that you'll put on the side right here. So it's going to come right on out and go just like that. And don't forget, now we can close this back up. Got that clip down, and I've got the one on the side. Now this is the jumper that we have to put in the interlock thing here, this thing here. See, up on the top of the printer, they have a little pin or plate that comes down and goes in there. So it thinks the top is down. So we're going to give you this to go in there like that. Now when you close it, that'll help hold it up. Actually, it's resting right on this right here, so that's the way it's got to be. Now we'll be able to plug it in and turn it on. Now remember, before you turn it on, you have to take off this little paper clip on the hose, and you've got to go over to the black tower and open up the little plugs that are in the air vent holes. Big plugs stay in, they only come out when you fill it. Little plugs are always out, especially when you're printing. If you left them in, you'll starve the printhead and could damage the printhead. So you want to make sure that you remove those plugs. And by the air plugs is it's the little ones in the back, because we need that air to go in, so it'll fill the isobaric chamber with air. Now they stay in the big ones, and then you'll be able to watch your ink levels. That's what I meant by it in the video. I plugged it in and I turned it on. And you're going to watch it come over here. Now I left the top open so you can watch this in the video. Now you got to keep an eye on for the hose. You don't want it too tight or too loose. That'll go through a setup when you do this. It can take 1 to 2 to 3 minutes to get set up. Go back and forth, you hear it. Now sometimes I'll do 1 or 2 deep cleanings when I first put in, only if I'm having an issue with the nozzle check, which I'll do in a minute. But probably not going to have it with this printer because I've already had the system in. But when you first install, sometimes you get a little extra ink in there, you flood the print head, and that can cause you little problems and the prints won't come out good. Just do a couple of deep cleanings. That should fix the problem. There's the hose. I'm watching it go all the way. Now I'm going all the way to the left side. That's the critical. See, if I let out too much hose when I put it under there, that would come down and cause a problem. That's why I held that hose when I pushed that underneath there. I've got a solid light, so I know everything is good. A blinking light could mean that you left this down. You might have a problem with a chip. Could be a lot of things that can cause a blinking light. Paper jam. Now I've got paper in there. Nozzle pattern. And you can watch this go back and forth. Now I could close it like that. I'm going to leave it open. There again, with that felt tape that we have up in there, you can put a little liquid soap on there. A little Vaseline, little WD-40 even, just so you get, the hose gets a little extra lubricant as it goes by. See, now it's going through a printhead cleaning because it's going to print out that nozzle check. This could take up to 2 minutes. Okay, there you go. Now that's what I was talking about. See, when you first install it, you might get a little extra ink. See, that's because taking it in and out, you can flood it a little bit. So I'll do 1 or 2 cleanings or just run some test sheets, and that'll get rid of it. But other than that, everything looks good. It's very quiet. Earlier on in this video, I told you to push the hose to the back. Not necessarily that's correct, because depending on how it was installed in, and sometimes the hose twists a little bit. On this one I just brought it back out and it stopped that little tap, tap, tap noise. That's why I did it. And I want to show you stuff like this in the video because that can happen to you and then you wonder why it's tapping and this and that. Here's where you gotta, you know, adjust right here. Too much hose. If you don't get enough hose, you pull it too much out, then you get the yellow and white light to blink. So if you have that, then you got to go back and look at that hose. That means it's not going all the way over to the right. And too much tapping usually means that the hose is not set in there straight. So I had to bring it forward towards me, not to the back of the printer. So that's how simple it was to set it up. I even showed you a couple things that could happen when you do it. You can close the lid now and you can print. Coming out now again, I just printed another one. See how quiet it is? That memory hose. This new hose that we're using on the Canon systems is awesome. The black tower with the memory hose, so quiet when it runs. And remember, Canon didn't leave a lot of room there to do this. But because we invented Canon ink systems over 15 years ago, I remember doing it. I remember sitting at a table hour after hour to get one to work. Beautiful. Beautiful. I really like the Canons. I truly like the Canons. I like HPs, some of them. And even Epson's okay.